Hey, this is Clint from the Doorway 2. I'm hanging out with Caleb from Beartooth. How you doing, my friend?
I'm fucking good.
All right. Awesome. So we have some immediate friends. The record label director and I are good friends. So he hooked me up with this. I appreciate it very much. Thanks, Greg, again. So I'm going to start off with a couple of rudimentary questions for people that, for my magazine, may not know tons about you.
Please.
All right. So I think it's really interesting that every one of your records starts with only has one word for the name. Is there a specific reason behind that?
I mean, I think for me that was just like, that's always the easiest way for me to just get the point across. Is it's like, what's the one word that kind of sums it all up? And I don't know. It's just kind of stayed in that like suit. It's just followed suit since I started making the records. But like, I don't know. Every time I make another record, I'm like, I don't know what to call it now, and it just kind of happens. But yeah, there's honestly no like cryptic reason or anything. It's just.
Are you going to continue on with that? It's like, is it a running kind of gag thing
point,
now?
Like, yeah, kind of. People are always like, oh, they're like one word records and the whole thing. And I'm like, I don't know. But yeah, we'll see what happens on the next one.
So give us a little bit of history. I know basically, and this is not to like boost egos or anything, but it's pretty much your band, and then you have like a rotating membership of members where it's never been like a solidified, like every record is identically the same members, or every tour is identically the same.
Yeah, it's really been a work in progress. So like basically how it started was I was in another band, and then I was quitting that, but kind of as I was quitting that, I was writing these songs that ended up being Beartooth, but it was just like this way for me to kind of clear my head and just write whatever I wanted and be able to do all the music, because I love playing everything, but you know, I've always ended up singing. So it's just kind of stuck that way. That was like something important for me, was that all the records are just like, that's my one time I get to like play and write.
Gotcha.
Like the whole bit. And then with the lineup, it's just been figuring it out. It's just been kind of rotating and finding who's the perfect fit. But I think now, like with this record and this lineup, I think we're solid. I think this is like the one.
Well, that's what I was going to ask. So on this latest record, being that you've done a couple now, and are other people inputting, or is it still just all you doing everything?
Musically and like recording, yes. But it's more of like, so a couple of the dudes came in after I'd been writing for like a really long time. And I was just like, guys, I don't know what is good and what's not anymore. And so they came in and like, you know, we just sat down in my studio for a few days and I played everybody everything that I had. And then they were like, okay, this is good, this isn't, this could use some help here, like whatever. And it's more like I almost have kind of like producers in the band almost, or something, at least for this latest record.
Okay.
And yeah, two of the guys have like production credits on the album.
Cool.
But yeah, when it comes to like the songwriting and performance, that's still just kind of my thing.
So I'm going to ask you the obligatory question of, how did you hook up with Red Bull? They were like nothing when you started.
Dude,
I literally, to this day, he told me, there's this band called Beartooth, you need to hear them. And I was like, really? And he played for him. I was like, God, these guys are awesome. I was like, cool.
Yeah.
But you were like you were like day zero there, pretty much. So how did it all happen?
Man, I don't even really know. It's all such a blur. So like, I wrote the songs, I sent them around to some people, and you know, it just one of those like, people started hearing about it, labels started hearing about it, and then, you know, a few different labels were interested, and then I hear about Red Bull Records and heard they were interested, and I was like, okay, like I know nothing about this, I don't know what this even means. And then so I met A&R, and like, you know, some other people came to a show. I met Greg.
Yeah.
And I mean, Greg pretty much just told me, he was like, we're signing Beartooth. He's like, I don't care what happens, we're signing the band. I was like, all right, let's go. And
I heard the other side of the story, so that it's awesome.
Sure.
No. He was emphatically in love with you guys, so that was cool. So yeah.
But yeah, he really just like, he just really believed in the band, and like, of all the meetings I had and all the people I talked to, I could tell he just
nice.
It really meant something to him.
Cool.
So yeah, he just landed the deal, and it's been history ever since.
Cool. So my year, not your year, from the first record to now, I hear a lot more mixture of electronic music. I hear a lot of more like industrial metal elements into it, plus a lot of SoCal power pop. Like,
wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
So like,
Yeah.
there's a lot more harmonies on this record than I've ever heard before. Okay. And that's kind of that's fine. That's kind of like the feeling I have. It's like a mixture of the more aggressive side of things, mixed with that kind of whole California power pop melodic.
For sure.
Yeah.
Dude, I mean, honestly, I got really into like, you know, things like Rick Springfield.
Nice.
Like, I don't know, that kind of sound, and that really influenced like the harmony side of things. And then, I guess there's no like synthesizers or anything on the record. That's all like just I got way more into pedals.
Okay.
And way more into like. I'm sorry.
No, you're fine. I appreciate it.
There we go. Yeah, I guess I just got way more into kind of like trying to create more space and like ambience and stuff, but still just using, you know, analog guitars and amps, and like that to me was something important from the beginning, is that it always stays, you know, guitars and like raw instruments, and yeah, it's just kind of kept expanding. And I don't know, I also recorded at Blackbird, which has this amazing catalog of gear. I mean, the most gear I've ever seen in one studio in the world. So that was really inspirational to like kind of expand. But I don't know. I guess it's just kind of like the natural progression of things, you know?
Do you see it going into more of a melodic side of stuff with future stuff? Because it seems like it gelled really well for this record. Like, being a musician myself, I can hear this like strong passion in this record, like where the other ones I could tell they were growing steps up to now, like one musician to another, you could always hear it. So like, let's say they told you next week you're going to start working on new music, would it stay in this direction, or do you think it's going to move into something completely different?
I honestly don't know.
Okay.
And that's the thing that's tough, is like record to record it always changes.
Okay.
And even on this album, like, you know, there were 20 plus songs that I got narrowed it down from, and yeah, I guess a lot of it did end up being melodic, which I don't even know if that was necessarily intentional. It was
Gotcha.
I just fell more in love with singing, and like, you know, we got some great singers live now, and so we can pull off the harmonies, and so that was really like a fun thing for me. But I don't know. I think Beartooth's always going to have that heavy side of it. Just it's like, it has to be there. You know, like songs like on our new record, like Enemy, Used and Abused, that are influenced from kind of like 80s, 90s metal and stuff like that. Like, that's always going to be there.
Well, I don't know if anybody's ever told you before, but you have a very... So I grew up in New York with Greg, all right? So you have a very mid-90s hardcore vibe. Okay, all right, and I feel it. Like, I used to go to CBGB's matinees and stuff, so I used to go see like Leeway and the Cro-Mags and all that kind of stuff, and I feel that Leeway kind of vibe with you, like where you mix the pop elements with the heavy, and they weren't afraid to do it either. You're not afraid to do it either. Where do you feel your fan base really lies? Is it more in the hardcore and metal scene, or are you seeing it really start to cross over now?
Dude, I don't even know at this point. Like, especially on this tour.
Yeah.
I mean, this is the most diverse crowd that we've brought out for sure. In age range, like, just t-shirts is always a good way to gauge. You see, like, metalhead. There's like a good bit of metalheads. There's a good bit of like hardcore kids. Like older dudes that were into like Pantera and stuff. There's like, I don't know, young girls. There's a lot of different people at the shows, but I really don't even know. Like,
that's cool.
Fan base, I'm just like, hey,
that's cool.
Whoever wants to come out and rock out. I think we're a good band for like the dad who likes metal that wants to bring their kid to a show that they're gonna like. I don't know.
So agree with you.
So much of that. We get a lot of that, and then both of them like enjoy the show.
I so agree with you. That's kind of what the vibe I get from this band all the time. So, in 4 words, no more, no less, describe the band to someone that's never heard them before. Just give 4 random words.
Rock the fuck out.
All right, man. I'm cool with that. So I'm going to ask you a personalized question. you toured with Suicidal Tendencies for a bit, right?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So they're one of my favorite all-time bands, okay? What was it like hanging out with, like, Mike and all those guys? Like,
It was a trip, man. Well, I mean, just like, Mike is just such a, like, intelligent dude. He's so fucking smart and, like, so well-spoken, and still that dude goes harder than anybody I've ever seen on stage. Like, that is the most intense frontman. And then his band that was playing with him on that tour was fucking incredible. He had Eric Moore on drums on the tour, and like Nico, who played for the Faceless, I think, and shit. Like, just a killer lineup, and yeah, I mean, that was just inspiring. Like, that's one of those tours, and yeah, it was with Suicidal and Slipknot.
I know it was.
Those tours where I'm like, I don't know if that will ever be topped.
Cool. I just had to ask because, like, yeah, that seemed like an amazing tour.
It was unbelievable.
So I'm gonna roll back to some of previous members and current, like. So the reason why I thought maybe, and maybe I'm way out of line on this, but like the City Lights guys have that very poppy punk edge to them. So I didn't know if maybe they gave you some words in your ears to bring this to a different sound than it was.
I think genuinely what it was Ashi, who plays bass, and he was the frontman of City Lights, and he basically did what I do for this band for City Lights. He like wrote it all in the whole bit, and he just gives me the option to be more melodic.
Okay.
Because now that I have a singer that I know is going to be able to nail the parts, and like he knows harmonies really well, that for me is really fun because we can just have a lot, and you'll see it tonight.
Yeah.
Like the amount of harmonies we're doing now is wild. Like, so much more than we used to. And I've almost started writing the record, like Disease, I think, is written for at least two singers. Like the way the record, the back and forth with the vocals, the harmonies, I think like it can't be pulled off with one singer.
Nice.
So I think that's like the biggest element he brought to the game.
Is this your first proper headlining kind of tour, or because I thought you did like a small one before?
We've done a couple small ones.
Yeah, but never
two small ones.
But never something this.
No.
Okay.
Never, nothing of this caliber. This is like a whole different world for us. But well, I guess we've done a few headliners, but
consistently,
States, like a market, real deal. We've only done, so we did one when we first started. That was in like little bars, and then we did one with Every Time I Die. Actually, that was a bit bigger, and then this is like. Yeah, this is wild. We've got like a crew and a truck full of gear and a light show.
Nice.
The whole thing. And I don't know. It's cool though, man.
So is it all in more like big club theater sized venues right now?
It's more in the realm of like anywhere from like 1,000 to 2,500 ish. Than previous tour was probably more like 6 to 11. So,
and that's what I was asking. Do you like the more personal shows like this? Is it a better feeling to play up close with the crowd than having the big grill in front of you? And like, which do you like? Like, is it just a different feeling, or do you like the more personal?
It all depends on the show.
Okay.
It really is show to show. I mean, we've had some shows, some like small ones on this. We played a show in Tampa.
Okay.
That was at this tight venue, and it was like, I think 700 or 800 people just crammed into this little room, and it felt like a punk show or something. It was like really good to get back to that, because I love doing shows like that. But then at the same time, we just got done doing like Europe festivals, playing in Germany to 10 to 20,000, and like those are awesome. But basically, to me, as long as people are having fun, we could be playing to 2 kids, we could be playing to 2,000. But even this, so like we do a VIP like package thing, whatever. But basically, whoever gets to come into the venue early, and we do like a sound check party, which is essentially we just like do a song, tune up, make sure everything sounds good, and then it's almost like playing a mini show for these kids. We just like do a couple songs that they're not going to hear during the set, and then like hang out and stuff. But even that, I have a blast. Sometimes there'll be like 50 people out front, and they're just rocking out. And
That's
we're up
awesome.
there playing, and like I don't know. You put anybody in front of us, we're gonna have a good time, man.
So just a couple more questions, and I'll let you be. Did you pick the 2 acts that are playing tonight?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
I didn't know if you were put a part of a package together, or you made the decision yourself.
We chose the band. So Siler, who's opening, I actually worked with them like back in the day. I did a record for them and an EP for them.
Oh wow.
And we've known each other for a long time. And then Knock Loose is just, we met on like Warped Tours and various shows and things like that. But yeah, they were just two like young bands that we really love, and that we feel like if we're gonna get to choose a lineup, we want to choose bands that we feel like these are bands people need to see.
Sure.
You know what I mean? And just like bands that we know are gonna give them a good show.
Awesome. And then, what do you currently like? Give me a couple bands that people wouldn't know that you're digging that they may want to check out because we like Beartooth. You know, like, and it's always got to be a network collection because like-minded people like like-minded music. You know.
True. Oh man, that's tough. I mean, definitely Silent or Knock Loose.
Yeah.
For sure. I'm trying to think of more bands that are like.
It doesn't have to be new. It could be something like you just really dig. You know.
Something I really dig. Oh man, well, dude. I've been way into. I mean, I'm always into this, but like. AC/DC circa like 74,
oh
78,
nice,
like, you know, Let There Be Rock and High Voltage and, you know, that kind of stuff. I've been like way into those lately. Man, I've been on a kick of like The Outfield.
Okay, I know exactly who they are. Yeah,
their first record, I've just been like playing that record out. There's this band, like, this is not at all sounds like
doesn't matter.
A band called The Midnight. That's like
very goth.
It's very it's like very 80s kind of synth pop.
Oh, okay.
I don't know. It's just a really good like feel good summer record.
Is it just something that you can decompress with like after a night? Okay, cool.
Dude,
yeah.
It's like the go-to. It's like after the show, go to the back lounge of the bus and just like
there you go.
And just like listen to that. And
cool.
That's been a killer one. I mean, shit.
That's good. No, I mean, yeah, just some ideas. That's completely awesome.
Yeah.
And then, for people that are kids, I'm an old man now. All right, I've been doing this for 28 years myself. All right.
Sure.
So for kids that are starting up, it's a very different world than even when you and I started in.
Sure.
Okay. What would you say is the best way to get noticed today?
I mean. Reality is like social media and the internet is like such a big thing now, but I think it's hard for people to trust or find your band unless you're kind of almost like have a stamp of approval from like another band. I know that sounds weird, but I mean that's kind of how it's always been. But at least this day and age, it's like I would just say try and get on shows.
Okay.
Which bands I feel like focus so hard on like social media and stuff like that. It's like get out there, get in front of people, go out with bands, like just literally find the promoter of this show and be like, we will sell tickets, like whatever we got to do. Can we get on this show? We'll play for 20 minutes, and like. Little things like that. Those go a long way. I mean, if you kick ass and the band sees it and they're stoked and they'll want to bring you back out or like say something about you, and like it's just about networking and just kind of getting the name out.
Cool. Well, we want to thank you very much for all this. And if you have any last words or anything you want to say to the people that are going to see this,
thanks for watching. And I mean, for real, thanks for being interested in Beartooth. It's always an honor getting to play. So hopefully we get to keep going for a while.
Thanks again, man.
Dude.